The baseball world was left in a state of complete disbelief after one of the most disturbing revelations in recent MLB history came to light just hours before Game 3 between the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Arizona Diamondbacks. What was uncovered behind the scenes sent shockwaves through every locker room, every front office, and every press box across the entire league. A terrifying scheme targeting Shohei Ohtani had been discovered. And the consequences that followed were swift, severe, and historic. What exactly was this scheme? Who was behind it? How did it get uncovered before Game 3? And what harsh sanctions has MLB now handed down to the Diamondbacks coach at the center of this shocking controversy? In the days leading up to Game 3, the atmosphere surrounding the Dodgers and Diamondbacks series had already been intense. Both teams were competing at the highest level, and the stakes could not have been higher. Shohei Ohtani, as always, was at the very center of the conversation. His performance throughout the series had been nothing short of extraordinary, and it was clear to everyone watching that if the Dodgers were going to win, Ohtani would be the driving force behind that victory. But inside certain corners of the Diamondbacks organization, the focus on Ohtani had taken a deeply troubling turn. Sources close to the investigation revealed that in the days before Game 3, a coordinated scheme was being developed with one specific goal in mind. That goal was to disrupt, destabilize, and ultimately neutralize Shohei Ohtani before he even stepped onto the field. The plan was not just about baseball strategy. It went far beyond anything that could be considered normal competitive preparation. What was being planned crossed a line that no professional sports organization should ever cross. The scheme was uncovered through a combination of internal reports and information provided by sources within the Diamondbacks organization who were deeply uncomfortable with what they were witnessing. According to those sources, certain members of the coaching staff had begun developing a strategy that involved gathering deeply personal information about Ohtani's daily routine, his pre-game preparation habits, and his psychological tendencies under pressure. The intention was to use that information in a way that would get inside Ohtani's head before Game 3 even began. But it did not stop there. Sources revealed that the scheme also involved attempts to interfere with the Dodgers' pre-game environment in ways that went far beyond normal gamesmanship. There were discussions about using outside contacts to spread misleading information through media channels in the hours before the game in an effort to create confusion and anxiety within the Dodgers clubhouse. The target of that confusion was always the same: Shohei Ohtani. When details of the scheme began to surface, the reaction from those inside the Dodgers organization was immediate and visceral. Manager Dave Roberts, upon learning about the situation, described his initial reaction as one of genuine disbelief. Roberts said that in all his years in professional baseball, he had never encountered anything quite like what he was being told. He said that competition is expected, intensity is expected, and preparation is expected. But what was being described went beyond all of that and entered territory that had no place in the sport he loves. Roberts immediately contacted league officials and provided them with everything that had been shared with him. The Dodgers organization made clear from the very beginning that they were not going to handle this situation quietly or internally. They wanted Major League Baseball to be fully informed and fully involved. According to sources, the league responded with remarkable speed. Officials launched a formal investigation within hours of receiving the information, and the findings confirmed what the Dodgers had feared. Freddie Freeman spoke to reporters after the situation became public and admitted that the entire clubhouse had been affected by the news. Freeman said that when he heard what had been planned, his first reaction was anger. Not just on behalf of himself or the team, but specifically on behalf of Ohtani. Freeman said that Ohtani is one of the most professional and dedicated athletes he has ever shared a clubhouse with, and the idea that someone would try to target him in this way was deeply offensive to everyone wearing a Dodgers uniform. Freeman added that the team immediately rallied around Ohtani and made sure he knew that every single one of his teammates had his back unconditionally. Mookie Betts echoed those feelings and went even further. Betts said that when he found out about the scheme, he went directly to Ohtani to check on him personally. He said that Ohtani's response was calm and composed, which surprised him but also did not surprise him at all, because that is exactly who Ohtani is as a person. Bet said Ohtani looked at him and simply said that none of it would affect his preparation or his performance. He said that Ohtani's focus in that moment was so pure and so unwavering that it actually gave the entire team a boost of confidence rather than causing any additional concern. As the investigation moved forward with extraordinary speed, attention quickly turned to the individual at the center of the scheme. The Diamondbacks coach who had been identified as the primary architect of the plan was placed under immediate scrutiny by league officials. Multiple sources confirmed that this individual had been the driving force behind the coordination of the scheme and had actively directed others within the organization to participate in its development and execution. Major League Baseball wasted no time. After completing their initial review of the evidence gathered during the investigation, the league announced a series of harsh sanctions against the Diamondbacks coach that immediately became the most talked-about disciplinary action of the entire season. The sanctions included an extended suspension that will keep the coach away from all MLB activities for a significant period of time. In addition, the league imposed substantial financial penalties and made clear that any further violations of this nature would result in even more severe consequences, up to and including a permanent ban from the sport. The announcement sent shockwaves through the entire baseball community. Analysts, former players, and current managers all weighed in almost immediately. The overwhelming consensus was that the punishment, while harsh, was entirely appropriate given the nature of what had been planned. Many pointed out that this was not simply a case of bending the rules or pushing the boundaries of competitive preparation. This was a deliberate and coordinated attempt to harm one of the most beloved and respected players in the sport. The punishment needed to reflect the seriousness of that intent. Inside the Diamondbacks organization, the fallout was immediate and severe. Sources described the mood in the clubhouse as deeply uncomfortable. Many players were reportedly blindsided by the revelations and expressed genuine shock that something like this had been happening within their own organization without their knowledge. Several Diamondbacks players privately reached out to Ohtani through mutual contacts to express their personal apologies and to make clear that they had no involvement in or knowledge of what had been planned. The Diamondbacks ownership group released a formal statement acknowledging the sanctions and expressing deep regret over the actions of the coach involved. The statement made clear that the organization did not condone what had been planned and that immediate steps were being taken to ensure that nothing like this would ever happen again within their organization. The coach in question was officially removed from all team activities pending the outcome of any further proceedings by the league. Back inside the Dodgers clubhouse, the reaction to the announcement of the sanctions was one of quiet satisfaction mixed with continued focus on the task at hand. Players expressed relief that the league had acted so quickly and so decisively. Roberts said after the sanctions were announced that he was grateful for the speed and seriousness with which MLB had handled the situation. He said that the swift action sent exactly the right message to everyone across the league. But Roberts was also quick to redirect the conversation back to baseball. He said that as important as it was for the league to address what had happened, the most important thing now was for his team to go out and play the game they had prepared for. He said that Ohtani was ready. He said the team was ready. And he said that the best response to everything that had happened was to go out onto that field and perform at the highest possible level. As Game 3 approached, Ohtani himself was seen going through his pre-game routine with the same calm intensity that has always defined him. Teammates who observed him in those final hours before the game said he appeared completely unbothered by everything that had surrounded him in the previous days. He was locked in, focused, and ready. The scheme had failed completely. The sanctions had been delivered. And Shohei Ohtani was exactly where he always wanted to be. On the field, ready to play baseball. What unfolded before Game 3 of this series will be remembered as one of the darkest and most dramatic chapters in recent MLB history. A terrifying scheme was uncovered. A coach was hit with historic sanctions. And through it all, Shohei Ohtani stood tall and refused to be shaken. The baseball world had witnessed something deeply troubling, but it had also witnessed something deeply inspiring. And that is a story that will be told for a very long time. Thank you for watching. Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. Subscribe to our channel for more exciting and up-to-date sports news.